Today we're delving into the fascinating world of early nuclear tests and the incredible innovations that helped us understand the mind-boggling power of atomic bombs. So, get ready to journey through time as we uncover the secrets behind those mesmerizing white smoke trails and the groundbreaking camera technology that captured these explosive events. In this video, we'll take you back to the early days of nuclear testing when scientists, researchers, and Army personnel were on a quest to unravel the mysteries of atomic explosions. We'll explore the two key elements of an atomic blast: the blast of radiation and the formidable shockwave. And of course, we'll reveal the ingenious role of those white smoke trails in tracking the shockwave's speed and distance. But how did these smoke trails work? And who came up with this brilliant idea? We'll unravel the story behind these mesmerizing trails and how they helped scientists gather crucial data during nuclear tests. So, when it comes to the early days of nuclear tests, folks were super curious. Scientists, Army guys, and all sorts of researchers were keen to figure out what the heck was going on when one of these atomic bombs went off. You might have seen old pictures or videos showing these huge explosions with trails of white smoke. According to The Drive, that white stuff isn't part of the actual boom. It's more like a trick the scientists use to understand the whole thing better. Alright, so let's break it down a bit. When an atomic bomb explodes, there are mainly two things you need to know about. First, there's this blast of radiation. But then, something even crazier happens. Imagine a massive wall of super hot, squeezed-together air that shoots out from the center. It's so strong it can flatten pretty much anything in its path. Yeah, that's what they call the shockwave. Now, if you're close enough, but not too close, or yikes, this shockwave can actually be caught on camera. The air around it sort of glows and gets a little foggy. But as the shockwave goes further out, the air starts to cool down, and it gets trickier to see it with just your eyes. But make no mistake, it's still out there doing its destructive thing. The big question was, for how long and how far does this shockwave go? This is where the smoke trails come in. The researchers needed to keep track of that powerful shockwave as it moved along, and those smoky lines in the sky were their genius way of doing it. They needed a way to see the shockwave even when it got harder to spot. The smoke gave them just the tool they needed to gather all that crucial info. Hey, so you remember those white smoke trails from rockets we were talking about? They were sent up just before the big boom. And guess what? They interacted in a pretty funky way with the air that was changing because of the shockwave. They could twist, bend, or even break. With some brainy calculations, the scientists could work out how fast and far this shockwave was moving. Just so you know, that shockwave could zip along at around 784 mph and cover a distance of about 12 miles at sea level. Pretty wild, right? So you're probably wondering, who came up with this genius idea? It all started with the very first nuclear test, named Trinity, back in 1945. There was this weird thing happening in the photos. A piece of a balloon cable looked like it vanished in the pics. That wasn't magic. It was the shockwave bending light. Yep, you heard that right. So folks started putting their heads together. They thought, why not use this to our advantage? And boom! That's when the Naval Ordnance Laboratory, let's call them NULL for short, stepped in. They got cracking on some special rockets that could create these smoke trails. Fast forward to 1952, these smoke-making rockets were first put to the test in Nevada. It was part of something they called Operation Tumbler Snapper. After that, you could see these smoke trails showing up in footage and photos of tests in Nevada up until 1955. They were kind of like the guest stars of nuclear tests, helping everyone understand the main event better. So, these smoke trails were more than just cool to look at. They were an essential tool for figuring out some really serious science. So, you remember those early photos and videos of A-bomb tests? They wouldn't even be around if it wasn't for some big leaps in camera tech. Way back during the Manhattan Project, Robert Oppenheimer and his gang had this super setup of 52 high-speed cameras for the Trinity test. Yeah, 52! They were dead serious about capturing every moment. Jump to Nevada, and we have something called Rapitronic cameras being used. These babies were crazy fast but could only take one pic at a time. During Operation Tumbler Snapper, where those smoke rockets first showed up, remember? They had up to 10 of these cameras all lined up. So, when you put together all the shots they captured, you get this incredibly detailed look at how scary powerful these nuclear bombs are. It's like having a step-by-step guide to what exactly happens when you set off an atomic bomb. Science, huh? But let's not forget, the Shockwave, which we were keeping tabs on with the smoke trails, is just one part of the A-bomb horror show. You've also got the radioactivity, or what's often called nuclear fallout. That's the stuff that hung around after the bombs were dropped on Japan and caused a whole lot of suffering. I'm talking about thousands of people getting really sick or dying, even long after that shockwave was gone. So while the cameras and smoke trails helped us understand the shockwave better, there's still that dark cloud of radioactivity we can't ignore. If you like what I do in here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you have some anime that you'd like me to cover, write it down in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.